Bloomington's independent pop-up movie theater is opening a permanent location. We'll tell you where and when it's scheduled to premiere. A federal prisoner's mother says his life may be at risk. Why they claim a rare blood disorder is going untreated at the U.S. penitentiary in Terre Haute. And a small town's quest to honor a forgotten artist gets a boost from IU students. Coming up, how their research could help Odon secure a long-sought historical marker. We'll have these stories and more coming up on Indiana Newsdesk.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Maller Grotner Plummer Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Maller Grotner Plummer Attorneys, understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis, on the web at lawngp.com. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. Smithville, fiber internet, security solutions, and voice in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Bunger and Robertson, attorneys at law since 1949, utilizing experience, knowledge, and resources to help individuals and families recover in personal injury matters. Information at lawbr.com. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Well, the mother of a federal prisoner in Indiana fears her son could die without urgent medical care. As WTIU's George Hale reports, staff at the U.S. penitentiary in Terre Haute stopped providing treatment for the prisoner's rare blood disorder earlier this year.
Demetrius Manderfield has sickle beta thalassemia, a rare and severe form of sickle cell anemia. It's characterized by misshapen red blood cells that can block blood vessels, leading to excruciating pain, organ damage, and a high risk of strokes or seizures.
He's had that since he was born. Found out about 6 weeks into him being born that he had it. He has to get blood transfusions every 3 weeks to keep him alive.
Manderfield was receiving these transfusions monthly at Union Hospital in Terre Haute, where he's serving the final months of a 10-year sentence for sex trafficking a minor, until an incident that landed him in the so-called Special Housing Unit, or SHU, where inmates are held in near solitary confinement. Sumner says she received a letter in the spring saying staff cut off the transfusions. A month later, he had a seizure.
He said that he had a seizure. It was like pretty bad. In his letter, basically, he was telling us that he was going to die, and this was it, and he wanted us to know that he loved us.
According to Manderfield and his mother, staff cut off the transfusions and moved him to the SHU after an incident in January involving a hospital staffer.
Him and I made a grave mistake that I didn't realize was a mistake. He called me and he said, "Mom, I met this nice girl up at the hospital that I go to. I would love to be able to get her phone number." And in my mind, oh, that's so cute. I'm so glad you made it, found someone, blah, blah, blah. And so he asked me to find her on Facebook. I found a friend of hers.
That contact triggered an SIS investigation, an internal review by a special investigative supervisor, which resulted in an extension of Manderfield's sentence. In a letter to his family, he wrote that the transfusions were ending and that he would remain in the SHU.
That's what they told him. They told him he'll be there until he gets out.
A month later, a fellow SHU inmate found Manderfield having a medical crisis.
Was able to get him in a wheelchair and haul him off to the lieutenant's office to let them know that he had had a seizure. So he thinks this is the end for him, honestly.
Staff transported him to the ER after first responders found he had dangerously low blood pressure. Further tests at the hospital showed low hemoglobin levels. But despite these findings, staff still refused to restart the transfusions.
I have never thought that what he did was okay, but it had nothing to do with his medical care. I don't think that he has to go there and die because he did something wrong.
With more on this story, we're joined by reporter George Hale. George, so we heard the family side of the story, but what about the prison side of this story?
Yeah, so I did reach out to the U.S. Prison Bureau, and I got a kind of generic response, but I do have correspondence with Manderfield's family. An official there shared with them a statement that the Bureau provides medical care, quote, in a manner consistent with accepted community standards for a correctional environment, and uses, quote, licensed and credentialed healthcare providers in its ambulatory care units, which community consultants and specialists support. Additionally, they say care is available 24/7.
I understand they've been a little more forthcoming in court filings related to the situation. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Manderfield's family is attempting to convince a federal judge in Michigan, which is where he was sentenced, to release him so he can resume the transfusions outside prison. So in response, the Bureau officials told the judge that he was receiving, again, quote, necessary care. And they say that stopping those transfusions did not have anything to do with the Facebook incident. But in recent weeks, the judge has responded with some skepticism, pointing out different contradictions in the Bureau's filings and demanding more information. But she also says Manderfield needs to complete an internal complaint process before she'll consider releasing him.
So the judge is sort of kind of in our position here where you're seeing two sides of the story. Mother saying her son's going to die. The prison is saying he's okay.
Exactly, yeah. And, you know, I'm obviously no expert on sickle cell disorders, but I did speak to one. Andrew O'Brien is a hematologist and co-director of IU Health's Lifespan Sickle Cell Disease Program. He isn't currently treating Manderfield, but he told me that typically patients needing these kinds of exchange transfusions cannot wait very long.
Red blood cell exchanges, for instance, typically we will have to do every 4 to 6 weeks in order to be effective. So it's not something you can just do once and the patient's treated. Right. You have to do it consistently, otherwise the effect is lost.
O'Brien and other experts I spoke to also emphasized that people with this severe condition really need to be working with a team of experts in a center that specializes, with these disorders, and that level of care just isn't available in a prison setting. All
right, George, thanks so much. Of course, there's more online. You're working on a feature on radio as well. Appreciate your reporting.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Cicada Cinema, Bloomington's independent pop-up movie theater, is opening a permanent location. As WTIU's Ethan Sandwise reports, it's slated to open this summer.
This large empty space, at various times a church and a food bank, is gradually assuming the form of a movie theater. Cicada Cinema volunteers are erecting new walls and raising new seating.
A lot of us had to sweaty 90 degrees heat, move chairs out of here, chairs back in, set up scaffolding. It's been an enormous amount of physical work, and there's a lot more to come.
Their vision is not just a theater capable of high-quality screenings, but a community space for lovers of film on the near west side.
The theme we're using for our decoration is Pee-wee Deco, to kind of capture the fun of Pee-wee's Playhouse with sort of a classic like Art Deco movie house vibe.
The nonprofit group began screening films 10 years ago. Since 2018, the pop-up shows have been at parks and bars.
We knew we wanted to grow to be able to bring more programming to the community and more consistent schedule, and also to be able to bring more family movies, art house movies to the Bloomington audiences.
With a matching grant from the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority and a fundraising campaign underway, Cicada Cinema settled on a spot adjacent to the future site of the Friendly Beast Cidery and the Beeline Trail. The theater will seat 70 when completed, with chairs and fixtures salvaged from Wolf Theaters in Greensburg. The group hopes a permanent space will allow more options for screen times and films.
We're looking to move from around 1 or 2 screenings a week to about 6. Is the target.
A light and sound-controlled space means the cinema can offer matinees for kids, and privacy allows it to screen longer and more serious films than it could show at a bar.
We think the quality of the screenings, the quality of our sound and projection really will be able to do justice to the art itself.
Cicada is largely dropping the pop-up model, but some things won't change. It plans to continue outdoor screenings with the Bloomington Parks Department, as well as its Cicada Underground and New Queer Cinema series. The public gets its first look inside the theater later this month at an open house.
We're not trying to hide the fact that this is a construction zone, and actually think it's kind of novel for the community to get to see that happen.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Ethan Sandweiss.
Can't wait to see. We're joined now by Aubrey Wright for more headlines from around the state. Hello, Aubrey.
Hi, Joe. Indiana University's College of Arts and Sciences Dean Rick Van Kooten is being removed by the campus chancellor. Van Kooten served as dean for nearly 7 years. He said in an email to faculty it was, quote, not a change I sought, and it is not easy to leave work that has been so meaningful to me. His role ends August 1st. IU says a search for a permanent dean will begin in the fall. The Monroe County Community School Corporation has closed its Early Learning Center at Bloomington High School North and is consolidating services at its South facility. Officials say the move will allow them to serve more children amid high demand and staffing challenges. There will also be fully staffed classrooms. Previously, classrooms were not fully staffed, with 3 adults, limiting enrollment.
It's a response to the community and the need we know for the community for infant and toddler care, and just ensuring that we were using our available resources and available staff to serve as many infants and toddlers as possible.
Dowling says 8 infants and 10 toddlers, some of which had been on the wait list for over a year, will be able to be enrolled. An animal sanctuary in Monroe County says it's at risk of being regulated out of existence. WTIU's Eddie Stewart has more.
This is Rory. She's a big baby.
Hernley is the co-founder, executive director, and beaver butler of the Pipsqueakery, a wildlife and small animal rescue south of Bloomington that has taken in over 12,000 animals. She says proposed new county regulations on rescues could end her operation. Those include a minimum lot size and restrictions on the number of volunteers. She says that would make it impossible for rehabbers without significant acreage to operate.
All animal rehab in Indiana is typically done out of a home. It's almost impossible to do it any other way because you have animals that need fed 24/7.
After receiving complaints of animal hoarding and neglect at the Pipsqueakery in 2025, the Monroe County Planning Department drafted a proposed amendment to the county development ordinance that would create a specific zoning district for animal rehabilitation centers. In a Monroe County Ordinance Review Committee meeting in May, the assistant director of the Planning Department said because animal rehabilitation is not a land use covered by the ordinance, it's not permitted without an amendment.
Otherwise, if we didn't do that, I think the option is to cease and desist. So we're trying to work with and take feedback and comments on what is reasonable.
Hernley, who is an attorney with an inactive Indiana license, says she believes the planning department is overstepping and attempting to regulate wildlife rehabilitation.
I don't think this is a zoning issue. I really don't. I think that this is all already regulated by animal welfare organizations.
The Ordinance Review Committee received over 120 emails objecting to the language in the proposed amendment before the May meeting. Hernley says that if the regulations pass as written, the Pipsqueakery will relocate outside of Monroe County and stop serving the county entirely.
Based on how many animals we get from Monroe County every year, that's going to leave thousands of animals with literally nowhere to go, which means people are going to be interacting with rabies vector species.
The Monroe County Planning Department declined to be interviewed for this story. The proposed amendment is next scheduled to be discussed in a September meeting of the Ordinance Review Committee. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Eddie Stewart.
Quaff On Brewing Company announced its production brewery in Nashville will close. The production of its beers will transition to Sun King Brewery. Quaff On will continue operating and distributing its products throughout the state. Packaged beer will come in cans rather than glass bottles.
It's bittersweet to move on from, the hands-on production. I'm not going to lie, that it would be pretty disingenuous to pretend otherwise. But we are excited.
Quaff On beers will continue to be available at Big Woods restaurants, Hard Truth Distilling Company locations, and through retail distribution across Indiana. Indiana University's Camp Soul will conclude on Juneteenth for the first time at Friday's celebration at Switchyard Park. Camp Soul is a 6-day pre-college music camp and began Sunday. It brings 25 high school students from across the country to study African American musical traditions.
I've learned that music connects all people, and it's like our one, I guess, commonality as people, as a whole species.
And Joe, camp directors say this year's final performance was intentionally designed around themes of Juneteenth and the Black experience in America.
So many things going on this weekend, community service events. Check it out online. Thanks so much, Aubrey. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. A small town's quest to honor a forgotten artist gets a boost from IU students. Coming up, how their research could help Odon secure a long-sought historical marker. And we visit with IU scientists who have crafted a 1776 ale to commemorate the country's 250th birthday. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
My name is Isabella Vesperini. I'm a sophomore here at IU. I'm majoring in journalism. I've lived in Bloomington for 13 years now, so going out with a videographer has helped me learn how to get certain shots of B-roll or what people to interview, how to set up a camera. So I think it's given me just a more personal, more in-depth experience with journalism, but also just learn about what's actually going on in Indiana.
Throughout central Indiana, we are the best of what it means to be a Hoosier. From the racetrack to horseback to backpack, admiring our hometown pride from high above and down below. With architecture as eye-catching as a work of art or as sturdy as a covered bridge, all of it reflecting the beauty that unites us as Hoosiers. We are your public television station. We are WTIU.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. The recovery of lost records on the sculpture of a century-old statue of Abraham Lincoln in Odon, Indiana, has reconnected descendants of Ira A. Corral. Natalie Fitzgibbons has more.
Corral gifted the statue to Odon, his hometown, in 1922.
He was a very, very talented man. And at one point, he made the decision in 1921 that he wanted to give something back to the community that he was born in. And he decided that he would give us a sculpting. And then he decided that it would be of an old settler. And he paid tribute to Abraham Lincoln.
For the celebration of the 100th anniversary of the statue's dedication in 2022, the city of Odon applied for a historical marker. It was denied that year and again in 2023. Roach says more information was needed on Corral rather than Lincoln's historical significance.
There was a seminar here in our community building that was hosted by the Purdue Extension Office. And at that time, they were partnering with IU and the Center for Rural Engagement. And they had asked us what there was that they could do for the community. And when I filled out the questionnaire, I said, you can help us get this historical marker. And it just absolutely blossomed from there.
IU Center for Rural Engagement contacted IU Art History Associate Professor Melody Dusner to see if she had a class that would be able to learn Corral's history.
In fall of 2025 is really when it started. And I was teaching an upper level art history class, although we don't have prerequisites, so we have students of all levels in our art history courses. But this was a course of about 20 undergrads and 5 graduate students, an intensive writing course on American art from 1865 to 1945. So 1922 fit right in there.
The students started from scratch. There was no scholarly research done on Corral. They visited the statue and went to the Daviess County Museum, where they were able to see a few of Corral's drawings donated by a descendant.
Corral, when he died, he left a studio in Austin, Texas, a house and studio full of art, letters, journals, and drawings. And these were preparatory designs that he made as part of his process, but most of them were not labeled or dated.
It was common for Indiana limestone sculptors like Correll to not sign their work. The Lincoln statue was one of the few signed. Students continued their research in historical newspapers and archived interviews with Correll.
Once we had his name and we knew what newspapers to look in, there were literally hundreds of hits from the 1890s all the way up through, he was still active when he died in the 1960s, of newspaper articles that were documenting where he was sending work.
They were able to match some drawings to work such as sculpture on the Masonic Temple in Detroit, Michigan. During the research, a student found Correll's great-great-granddaughter, Debbie Pike. Pike says she's known since childhood she's related to Correll.
My great-grandmother, his daughter, actually drove me and my brothers to Odon to see the Lincoln statue when I was single-digit age.
Pike has been doing her own research on Correll. Her brother gave her a tote box he was gifted through a distant cousin filled with sketches, photos, postcards, and a journal. She's traveled to several states matching the drawings to existing sculptures.
I just started compiling everything that was in there, and included in that was this journal that was from the 1930s and 40s. And I found pages that Ira had started listing some of his works, and so I just started making new lists. So this was an entry from 1949, and so I basically read this and started listing more items and started planning trips.
Pike has recently found tree stump headstones in Indiana by Correll and a crucifix in a cemetery in Champaign, Illinois. Pike has a spreadsheet containing over 90 items. She says Correll worked in all 48 states at the time, and likely hundreds, if not thousands, of his pieces exist.
He was born in 1873. I have a lamb in my possession that he carved in 1882 at the age of 9. So he was carving from 1882 in some fashion until he died in 1964. And so that's a long, vast history.
In April, the students presented their research on Correll and Odon. It brought together several relatives of Correll.
I did meet about 5 new cousins that day that I had never met before, which was awesome.
The goal is to get the historical marker by August in time for Odon's Old Settlers Festival. The plan is to also add about 4 educational panels around the statue.
This is something that he did and learned very, very young age. And I think that it's a proof that basically these things need to be maintained and kept, and history kept of all of them.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Natalie Fitzgibbons.
And IU scientists have crafted a 1776-inspired beer to celebrate America's 250th next month. Our Isabella Vesperini visited their lab to learn more about this special brew.
Since January, IU scientists and graduate students have been collaborating with local breweries to create a beer called Declaration of Fermentation, based on an Old English mild ale.
We were shooting for something that was, 1776 inspired, and they were British colonies, so lots of the recipes were sort of the British types of beer.
They used simple ingredients available during that time period, such as yeast from tree bark, which created a banana clove flavor.
You couldn't get everything in America that you could get in Europe. So for instance, lots of the sugar you would get from barley and malted barley was replaced with molasses. And so we based it on quasi-historical recipes.
To stay true to that time, they collected yeast from 250-year-old trees, such as the big bur oak tree on campus by the Indiana Memorial Union.
Finding old enough trees that would have been around in the founding times here is pretty difficult after the development of the Midwest and all the agriculture took over. But making it from yeast that we found on a tree and in the style that they would have fermented with the ingredients that they used, I think is as close as we can get to kind of the open air fermentation that they would have enjoyed.
It's likely people in 1776 were drinking a beer like the one they created. Bachman said it was typical for the alcohol content to be around 5%, just like the beer they produced.
beer and alcohol and things like that were clean water. And so people drank what were known as small beers, which were very low alcohol. And this was everybody, children to the elderly. It was just a way to basically keep hydrated and have clean drinking water.
Gray tried the beer after it fermented for a few weeks.
It's like an 18th century cream ale. So it's trying to be like as historic as possible to the recipe. So I don't think I've ever quite had anything like it. It's not bitter. It's kind of has like a smoky aroma, but also a little fruity.
Bachman hopes that when people drink this beer, they think about what it would have been like to live during the colonial era.
You couldn't go to the grocery store and grab a 6-pack of Upland's Dragonfly, right? This was, lots of people were homebrewing themselves. I mean, Martha Washington was a homebrewer, George Washington was a homebrewer. And so everybody sort of had their own little local flavor. And that's really what this is. This is ultra local.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Isabella Vesperini.
That's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Maller Grotner Plummer Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Maller Grotner Plummer Attorneys, understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. On the web at lawngp.com. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. Smithville, fiber internet, security solutions, and voice in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Bunger and Robertson, attorneys at law since 1949, utilizing experience, knowledge, and resources to help individuals and families recover in personal injury matters. Information at lawbr.com. And by WTIU members. Thank you.